Ready or not, here I come now. Let's play hide and seek. Prepare to be caught. Here I come now. Let's play hide and seek. Riding on the playground, no one dares to make a sound. Round and round and round and round, no one wants to be first found.
Okay, I'm going to read from it. Well, I'll read this one first. Maybe I'll say the same thing in here. Spokane. A jury returned the verdict today in the trial of Zachary Holt and Desmonique D. Tenzsley, a.k.a. Privilege, age 35. Holt and Tenzsley were found guilty on all 17 counts presented at trial, including felony murder in Indian country, attempted murder of a federal officer, assault of a federal officer, attempted robbery in Indian country, robbery affecting commerce, as well as several firearm offenses. Holt also was convicted of first-degree murder in Indian country and murder resulting in discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence. According to the court documents and evidence presented at trial, Holt and Tenzsley went on a 6-week crime spree that began in September of 2022 in northern Idaho and continued until the defendant's arrest in eastern Washington on October 21st, 2022. Over these 6 weeks, defendants Holt and Tenzsley committed home invasions as well as a robbery in northern Idaho and then took their firearms and much of the stolen property into eastern Washington, where they shot and killed Gail and Jeremy Neal at about 4:21 p.m. on October 21st, 2022 in Keller, Washington. Now, this whole thing, you guys, right here, is so bizarre to me because, first of all, they were, they're arrested on October 21st, 2022, right? You've got the 2-1-2-2-2-2, right there, you got that. You got 4:21 p.m. They're saying that the unalivings at Idaho4 was for basically 4:21, somewhere around there, but a.m. I mean, I just find that so strange. Approximately 30 minutes before the unalivings, Holt and Tenzsley were driving on a dirt road in the Keller area. Holt, who was speeding, swerved to miss a school bus, caused Holt's vehicle to roll over into a ditch. Minutes later, Holt's brother, Curry Pinkham, pulled up to give both Holt and Tenzsley a ride. Just before getting into Pinkham's car, Holt and Tenzsley moved several firearms, including the murder weapon, 1,000 rounds of ammunition out of the crashed car and into the red sedan, a 2007 Toyota Camry. Testimony at trial established that Holt was upset about wrecking his car and demanded that Pinkham take them to a location where they could get more rugs and find someone to rob. Pinkham agreed to drive Holt to the home of the known rug dealer in the Keller area. When Holt, Tenzsley, and Pinkham arrived at the residence of the known rug dealer, Holt and Tenzsley put on rubber gloves and masks. Holt and Tenzsley and Pinkham then grabbed firearms out of the red sedan. Rather than go to the main entrance where the purported rug dealer lived, Holt and Tenzsley walked to the back of the property where Gail Neal's trailer was located. As Holt and Tenzsley approached, Jeremy Neal came to the door of the trailer. Holt immediately began demanding Neal's money and property. Minutes later, Holt fired 2 shots, killing Jeremy Neal. Jeremy Neal. Holt then turned to Gail Neal, who leaned back into the couch in fear, and fired 2 more shots, killing Gail. Throughout, Tenzsley was standing guard, armed with a shotgun and his face covered by a mask. After the robbery and MURDER, and while law enforcement was responding to the scene, Tenzsley, Holt, and Pinkham drove towards Nesbellum, Washington. As Pinkham was driving the getaway car, Holt fired several additional shots, this time at law enforcement, who was attempting to stop the red Camry. During the chase, a Colville tribal police sergeant who was cross-deputized as a federal officer was hit in the forearm. Several additional bullets hit the sergeant's patrol vehicle. After shooting the first officer, Holt opened fire at a second Colville tribal police officer who also had attempted to stop the red sedan. Evidence at trial established that Tenzsley reloaded firearm magazines as Holt continued to fire at law enforcement to evade apprehension after murdering the Neals. When Holt, Tenzsley, and Pinkham later arrived at the Nespelem area, the three men tried to hide the getaway car under a tarp and fled on foot. Okay, well, there's a part they're leaving out here. As they were chasing them, they actually stopped and let two teenage girls out of the car and then fired the shots and then took off. They left that part out in here. I'm not sure why. So when Holt, Tenzsley, and Pinkham arrived, the three men tried to hide the getaway car under a tarp and fled on foot. They also hid the firearms and ammunition throughout the Nespelem area. When Holt and Tenzsley finally were apprehended the next day, Tenzsley gave a false name. Holt got into a fistfight with a concerned citizen who had called the police just prior to Holt's arrest. During the investigation into the murders of Jeremy and Gail Neal, tribal and federal law enforcement identified a series of other crimes that Holt and Tenzsley committed as part of their 6-week crime spree and conspiracy. On September 3rd, 2022, Holt and Tenzsley robbed and severely assaulted a man at gunpoint inside his trailer in Latah County, Idaho. The pair stole ammunition, gun parts, the victim's car keys, and a safe containing the title to the vehicle's camper trailer. As Holt and Tenzsley were fleeing the robbery scene, they exchanged fire with the robbery victim. Now this seems very weird to me because, first of all, they named the trailer park as being the Empire Trailer Park. Okay, so that's literally right. It's like across the street up a little ways from the other police one. Now, what I find really weird in here, extra weird, is that they stole the red car, right? Now there's those red cars, but this is, mind you, this is like 2 days after the noise complaint on September 1st that they endured by the cops, right? The 1122. But I've always thought there was a camper trailer parked at that Queen place and the red car. So it's like, but this is before this all happened, right? This is like a month before, a little over a month. And it's like, I mean, it's just so freaking weird. When I came across it the other day, I was reading, I was like, whoa. I'm trying to get the dates right in my head. And it was like, just, So I don't know, I find it really weird. So when they were fleeing, right, from the guys, the trailer, they exchanged fire with the robbery suspect, right? Okay, so prior, in my police reports, that is the trailer that the window was shot out of, that the person says it's non-vandalism, they called it. Non-vandalism. And that they don't know how it got shot out. It just kind of exploded. Okay, so that makes me wonder, who the hell's trailer was that? Because they didn't want anybody to know what that was all about. And I just find that really, really odd that, I mean, it doesn't sit right with me at all. Not at all. In fact, let me see if I can find that police report. It might be right here. Yeah, it's right here. Hold on. Let me read it to you. And there's a slew of things happened that day too. I mean, pretty nasty things. Dogs were being harmed. I mean, I think they were shot. And then there was that blood that was found in the Nez Perce golf course bathroom, right? There's that. And then, let's see. Where is it? there was a bunch of vehicle accidents, and a couple people had to go to Gritman. I mean, these guys were just on a rampage. Some guy got thrown down the steps somewhere. Unconscious person, and then they found the dog at the skate park that they took to Wazoo, actually. So I found that really interesting. That was right after they came upon this. So property damage, non-vandalism, 500 block of Empire Lane. Window just shattered. Unknown if someone broke it or how it broke. Officer responded. Report taken. Are you kidding me? Listen to what it says in this report. It says, as Holt and Tenzsley were fleeing the robbery scene, they exchanged fire with the robbery victim. That means both of them were shooting, right? Yet we get in here, it says, oh, we don't know how it happened. So who lived there, I wonder? Who did they go to rob? Who owns the little red car? And do they know this person? Like, were they aware of him? Why did they go there? Did they know them somehow? By the way, Rosendahl actually lived in that trailer park too at that time. So, I mean, I don't know if that was him. I have no idea. I'm just bringing you the information. Okay. So, additional evidence established that on October 12th of 2022, Holt and Tenzsley, who again were both armed, invaded 2 homes and assaulted multiple victims on the Nez Perce Indian Reservation in Lapwea, Idaho. The evidence at trial showed that Holt and Tenzsley were again looking for someone to rob when they committed these assaults. During the second home's invasion that evening, Holt and Tenzsley shot a dog in the face on the Nez Perce Reservation. Fortunately, the dog survived the gunshot. So that's what makes me think the dogs, in the police report, that they were doing something to these dogs, because there was 2 of them that were found, and pretty much they were both, it basically said they were just pretty much gone. So, I mean, God, I mean, I can't even believe people could even think something like that, but even do something like that is beyond I can't even fathom that. So, where was I? Okay, in the days immediately after the Lapwea assaults, Holt and Tenzsley traveled to Keller, Washington, leading to the tragic deaths of Gail and Jeremy Neal, as well as attempted murder of a federal officer and the assault of another. The firearm used in the shooting on the Nez Perce Reservation was the same gun Holt and Tenzsley used during the Neal murders, as well as attempted murder and assault on the 2 federal officers. So this makes me think, was this firearm the one they stole from the trailer on Empire Lane? So that means that gun is either, I mean, it's got to have a serial number, right? Or if it doesn't, then it's, then whoever had that gun prior to that probably has got some issues, probably got some background that's got not very good and pretty nefarious, right? That's why I'm wondering who that was in that trailer. United States District Judge Thomas O. Rice proceeded over the trial for Holt and Tenzsley, which began November 18th of 2024. So the reason I know about these is because I was always looking into these things because of the U.S. Marshal holds that they had, and there was a bunch of stuff going down around there. First of all, I think that the officers, all the people that were in that area at the time, the separate crimes or whatever, all the little things that were supposed to be going on, all the different crimes, like the triangulation of everything, that one of them had to do with the Army. There's some guys in the service who were stealing ammunition and selling it or bartering with it or, trading stuff. But they had tons and tons of ammunition and gun parts and things like that they were getting from like the armory or something. And I had a really super, super good article on that because it was an informant who caught the guy. They actually went golfing, I think is where they went, when they traded the stuff on the golf course or something. Ooh, oh my God, I never thought about that. Oh, what date was that? I wonder if that's when there was blood in the golf course at Nez Perce, if that's where they were. Oh my God, wouldn't that be weird? Oh my gosh. Okay, so sentencing this matter is set for February 6th of 2025 in Spokane, Washington. Now, I find this very weird too. Because when is Brian's trial? Yeah, right before that. So what the heck is this? Is this connected to it? I mean, this is a long way. I mean, you see how long they waited for here. Well before, I mean, several months before him. The victims in this case, Gail and Jeremy, were senselessly and brutally murdered by two men on a violent crime spree. Nothing can ever replace what the Neal's family and loved ones have lost. My office is deeply committed to promoting public safety on Native American reservations and addressing the crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous people. And this verdict demonstrates that those who commit violence on tribal lands will be held accountable. I am grateful for the attorneys in my office, especially First Assistant United States Attorney Richard Barker and Assistant United States Attorney Michael Ellis, who led this significant prosecution, as well as the investigation and agents who worked tirelessly for countless hours to bring justice to the victims in this case. So I am going to, I'm losing my voice, so I will let you, I'll put the link inside there so you guys can read the rest of this. I just find it very, or here, I'll just do this, and you can take screenshots and read it this way if you want to, however you want to do it. I'll keep it here for a second while I'm talking. So, I just find this so very strange. We got the red car. We've got the date right before the noise complaint, or right after the noise complaint. We've got a trailer where Rosendahl used to live in that park. He used to live there, and we've got a firearm that's stolen that killed a couple of other people and shot an officer. There's a title to a camper trailer that these guys had, and these guys have extensive records. Well, actually, the one that, not the two Indian guys, because I think those guys were related. I think they were brothers or something, which is weird that I think Pinkham rolled. He was like the getaway driver. He went to pick them up, and then he just was there for the ride. He ended up, getting a plea bargain, from what I understand. But they don't mention this, that Tenzsley guy too much. And he's like 32. They all have a heck of a record. But also, the brothers of these guys have major records. Also, police report records. Yeah. I mean, gnarly stuff too. Intimidating witnesses is one of them. Battery, assault, firearms, dangerous, unusual dangerous, unusual weapons is one of the charges. I mean, we're talking extensive. And it just makes me wonder who these guys knew. And the one guy, the Tenzsley guy, he looks like he could be AN, He does. He's got that look to him. And if he had tattoos all over his face, I would be like, okay, this guy definitely is, right? But he didn't at that point. But I bet you, if he comes, I bet you being in there, we'll see him next time. 'Cause that's what happened to those other guys. I mean, those guys didn't have tats when they first went in, and look at their whole face is covered in them. Oh my gosh. I wonder if they hold them down and just do that, or if they actually want those things to be on their faces and stuff. I don't know. I don't even want to think about it, actually, tell you the truth. But anyway, I'll screenshot that. Okay, there we go. I just wanted to bring this to you because I found it. Like I said, I found this. This was last year, even before this date. So last year, I don't know, I can't remember exactly when it was. Well, right around the time, because I was looking in the Whitman County Jail, and I came upon these U.S. Marshal holds, U.S. holds, and I was asking people if they were something to do with the Army and stuff, and I thought they were maybe AWOL. Someone was AWOL, because I didn't really understand what they meant. And then, come to find out, this stuff just started coming out, you guys. They weren't talking about this. You didn't know anything. You just knew that they were on a U.S. hold, right? You couldn't find anything out. But now they're starting to come up, and they're starting to tell us what they were. So keep your eyes out. Okay, love you guys. I'll talk to you soon, and lock your doors. Okay, be careful out there. Be careful in there. Jeez Louise. Okay, have a great day.
New tonight, a federal jury in Spokane found 2 men guilty today in a double murder on the Colville Reservation that happened 2 years ago. It was a story that gripped the towns of Keller and Nespelem in fear. According to U.S. Attorney Vanessa Waldriff, 24-year-old Zachary Holt and 35-year-old Desmonique Tenzsley were found guilty on all 17 counts. Charges included felony murder in Indian country and attempted murder of a federal officer. Court documents show the 2 men went on a 6-week crime spree stretching from North Idaho to the Colville Reservation. They reportedly shot and killed 2 people in Keller and shot a tribal police officer in Nespelem.
My heart goes out to the Neals. My heart goes out to the officers who very bravely responded and attempted to apprehend these defendants, and one of whom was shot in the process.
Holt and Tenzsley are expected to be sentenced coming up in February.